Okay guys, so I started a video about being restored after a bad job. My phone rung, so I hit decline and it got cut off. So I don't know, maybe I'll just let the phone ring. I don't know. Um Hopefully it won't ring again. Somebody's been calling me like all day. So anyways, how to continue being restored from a bad experience. I find my confidence is being built up. I didn't realize how much my last job affected me. I didn't realize the confidence shake that I had because it's partly my fault. I mean, I went into a extremely nice restaurant, giving them a little bit too much, what's the word? Not power, but thinking that these people were probably knowing more than me because it was such a professional place. And I did have the advantage of having a lot of experience. So when I went in, I was kind of looking at the restaurant from like an investor's point of view. And I'm like, wow, they don't do this. They don't wear gloves all the time. They don't do that. They don't do that. Here, I kind of got the same mentality, but I'm like, this is like the best place I've seen, like health inspector stuff. Like even the sink, when you wash your hands, instead of touching the faucet handles and then wiping your hands are getting dirty again. So they just got like this little thing you hit with the side of your hand. And yeah, so you don't have those germs. They are extremely clean. They actually hire a health inspector themselves to take care of like a pre-test before the real health inspector comes. Amazing systems in place. I am just, again, so impressed with this place. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but again, I'm very impressed with this place. I'm happy there. One of my coworkers gave me a ride home last night because obviously I'm not going to walk in the dark over here. I always give my names to my sons or somebody I know of who I'm riding home with, just in case something happens. But really impressed with this place. So how do you go from just having a bad serving job to something better? So for me, it's definitely get to know your menu. That's going to be a confidence builder. The more you know your stuff, the better. I had worked for an Italian restaurant, and one of the best restaurants I ever worked for was this Italian guy. He came from Italy. He knew his stuff. He said to me, know your stuff, know your product. If you know your product, people aren't going to give you crap, in so many words. He was so good that he made all his food from scratch. Tiny little restaurant. I remember seeing it and thinking, ugh, it kind of looks like a dive. Not, nothing to it. But once I got in there, I did not realize who he was. I didn't realize the type of people he had in there. His regulars were extremely loyal to him. There were only two people running the place with me. They did everything pretty much from scratch, and because they were small, they could. And he was renowned, and I didn't even know I worked for someone who was so well known. There were articles written about him. And the thing is, he had me, when I was serving, he watched every little thing I did. I mean, everything. He would come up behind me and make sure that when I was making something, I was doing it exactly how he wanted. Because, you realize that that one mistake just is like a domino effect. It just goes and goes and goes, and it's very difficult to recover from a mistake. So, I learned a lot from him, really appreciated him. Still, some of the lessons he taught me are still with me. I had another manager in the cleaning business who did a great job training me. It's really the foundation of the training that you want. So today I called my boss to see, what my schedule is going to look like. And I think the biggest successful thing you can do is have the communication, because he's like, okay, where are you at with your training? And he's just one manager, so sometimes you have a lot of different people doing stuff, and I'm like, well, this is where I'm at and this is where I'm going to go. And he's like, great. And I even said to him, I would not mind if you give me a couple more days to learn the menu even better. And he's like, okay. So they are very flexible, very willing to work with you. It's not like if you feel like, okay, I'm not ready yet, they'll give you extra time. That big place I worked for, they did not want to train the people. They were just like, you get this much training, whatever that training was, they didn't even have a plan, and that's it, because they didn't want to afford, they didn't want to pay for the training, and a lot of companies don't, and it's kind of scary in the restaurant business because they're not sure if you're going to work out. And this place is pretty generous. I mean, last night I got another extra meal of training. They're like, yeah, extra meal of training isn't going to hurt. We're going to feed you again because you can taste more food. So that foundation is extremely important. So yeah, I'm really happy here. Like I said, I'm giving myself a couple days off just to digest, just to let it all kind of sink in. And the better I know that menu, the better I'm going to be on the floor. So I'm already doing great. So I did call to see if my check was in from last week, just working a day, and they're like, nope, we hold back. And so just communicating and saying, this is what I need, this is what I want. And the tips here, the guy who trained me last night makes really good money. He's worked at a lot of places and he makes good money here. So I'm looking forward to hopefully make good money. And then my goals, my personal goals, I will be doing some stuff I want to do, and then just moving forward in my life, and we'll see what God has for me. But I am extremely happy no matter what comes my way in life. I'm a pretty happy person, and that joy comes from knowing God. It's not in a job, it's not in my kids, it's not in anything except just knowing that, like, I have a podcast that I'm starting and have started called Beautifully Loved, and it's just appreciating everything God gives you every single day, looking for those little, I call them love notes from God every day, little surprises, little things that come your way, that you just know it's right from God, and that's where the joy comes from. So that's what I got for today. Just don't let, I mean, some people work in their job as their life. I have another, I have my own life besides my job. So I try to go in with that mindset too, that it's just a job. No matter how it goes, it's just a job. And if one doesn't work out, there's always another one. I don't feel that I have to commit to one place. I feel I invest in myself, not so much a place.